And for that, we head back out to Denver to hear from the head coach.
He plays. So, the plan was what it was, and it wasn't good enough in the end, but it gave us a chance.
Vic, to your right here. Did you talk to George Payton this week, and do you know what's going to happen to you?
No, I do not know.
Did you talk to him this week?
Yeah, we talk all the time, George and I.
Vic,
What's that?
About the future or just
Everything. I'll be good, Legs. Don't worry about me. Okay.
Vic, last couple of years, only 2 division wins in that span. What do you think is separating this team from the rest of the AFC West?
Well, those other 3 teams have top shelf quarterbacks, okay, which is obvious to everybody. We just need to get a little bit better. A lot of the games, we had a good game against the Chargers here in the first time. Last week was the COVID game. We had a tough day, close game with the Raiders second time. Obviously, both games with the Chiefs, I think we're tight. We're not quite there yet, but we're close. And I think the foundation is there for this franchise to close the gap and become more of a factor in this division.
Vic, Melvin Gordon had 110 today, and obviously the fumble, but you mentioned the busted blocking assignment there. How'd you just grade out his season finale? And I know he said he wants to be a Bronco going forward. Do you think he made a good impression there?
Yeah, I love Melvin. Melvin's a tough sucker, okay? Runs hard. He's great teammate, good person. Everything to me about Melvin Gordon is top shelf.
Vic, you've talked a lot about being close and the progress you guys have made this season. When you look back on some of the plays this year, the fumble against the Eagles, the fumble against the Bengals, the fumble today, are those kind of the plays that you're talking about that could make the difference in a season? I'm sure there's more out there, but is that kind of what you're alluding to?
Yeah, we could, pick out a few more plays too, obviously. We just have to coach a little better and play a little better to avoid those plays. And we're all in it together. Okay, coaches and players are in it together. We all have our fingerprints on everything. And, yeah, we've got to avoid the catastrophic plays.
Vic, what was your message today before you went out with the team? What did you tell them before the game?
Well, that's between me and the team.
What pride do you take in establishing the foundation that you've talked about a couple times here in this post?
Yeah, I think I take we, the whole organization, take pride in that. Is it what we want? Is it good enough? No. But you can't think the things you're doing good aren't good enough because other things aren't good enough. Okay? Those have got to stay there. And when you get good enough at other things, that's your foundation. If you follow what I'm saying, I'm probably not doing a great job of explaining it. Yeah. Pardon me?
What do you think the foundation is?
You saw it out there tonight, bunch of fighters and competitors, and I think you saw it all year. And that's what these guys are. I'm proud to be associated with them. Not proud of our record. I know it's not good enough. I get it. But I'm proud to be associated with our players.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
A foundation is nice, but we've all seen the house at the end of the block that just can't get built. And perhaps that is this Denver Broncos team, specifically their record as of late against the Kansas City Chiefs. 13 consecutive losses. The last Denver Broncos quarterback to beat the Kansas City Chiefs now has a hit show on Monday nights. Peyton Manning was the last guy to get it done. And there you see the discrepancy in points, but Vic Fangio does feel like the arrow was pointed in the right direction in Denver. All right, back in the mix with our guys to break down what we just heard from Vic Fangio and what we saw in this game with the Chiefs, the 13th consecutive loss for the Broncos to the Chiefs. Ryan, top of the to-do list is obviously a top shelf quarterback in Vic Fangio's own words. I mean, that's a end of the season pure heart speaking truth there at the podium. And that is maybe an earned knock by the quarterback room there in Denver. What is at the top of the to-do list for you in terms of this Denver organization?
I'm with Vic Fangio, although I don't know if I would have said it if I were the head coach of the Denver Broncos, but he's not wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, he's exactly right. He said we just need to get a little better there at that position. And Drew Lock actually had a really good game in Week 17. Will it be enough to save his job? We'll see. A job that he had lost going into the season, Teddy Bridgewater. And I think it's a huge ask for this team during the Vic Fangio era to have success when, as he noted, all the quarterbacks in the other teams in that division are so good. He had Joe Flacco his first year. He had Drew Lock last year, and of course Teddy Bridgewater this year. So quarterback is going to be at the top of the do list. They have, as we sit here, a top 10 pick. We'll see how that shakes out. And you would imagine the rumors always have Aaron Rodgers coming there. I don't know if that will come to fruition. And, hope isn't a plan, as Vince Lombardi once said. So you have to be sure that these quarterbacks in this draft class, one of those guys is someone you can take with that top 10 pick. And as we've talked about before, Joe, this draft class at quarterback isn't like the one last year. It's similar to the one in 2013, where E.J. Manuel was the only quarterback to go in round one. So there's a lot of homework to be done for the Broncos, and it starts at the quarterback position.
You mentioned the presumptive NFL MVP back-to-back in terms of 12 there in Green Bay. He's got some things to deal with and bigger tasks at hand, but we know how close they were, at least the conversations that were being had last offseason. Perhaps they double back on those. But Scott Pioli, as you take stock of this Denver Broncos organization, where does it start? Because the offseason starts right now.
Yeah, the offseason actually started a while ago. Every season you're building towards the next offseason. And I don't mean it started weeks ago because their season was over. You're always working on the next year, trying to win now and work on the next season. Here's what I love about Vic Fangio. He spoke truth. And some people, he ruffles some feathers. He gets his own feathers ruffled sometimes. But he spoke pure truth. He came right out and said, listen, if we're going to compete in this division, he was asked the question, and he said, those other three teams in the division have top shelf quarterbacks. And he's absolutely right. And people say, well, you got to be careful what you say because you don't want to insult your quarterback there. He's speaking truth. He also, what I love about him speaking the truth about the job that he's doing. He said, hey, we got to coach better. Players got to play better. That's what we have to do. And he's absolutely right. They do need a quarterback. That is the fact. When you're competing against Carr and Herbert and you're, today against Mahomes, the only way that you're going to compete against those football teams is to have a top shelf quarterback. And I love the fact that he said exactly what it was. Everything he said today was pure truth. And if that upsets people, that's just too bad because he has to be a truth teller to that locker room. Everyone in that locker room knows that. He didn't throw anyone under the bus. He said, I need a top shelf guy.
I can't agree with you more because that is the discerning factor in today's NFL. You're not winning without a top 10 quarterback. And again, no disrespect to the guys in those locker room. There is not one currently in Denver. Drew Lock did score twice via his feet here on Saturday and did do all right through the air as well. 12.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.